Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to Rise of Mordor. We are about to witness thousands of virtual soldiers. They're gonna slaughter each other for our own entertainment. It's gonna be great. And joining me today is Jackiefish.
Hey, how's it going? I'm very much enjoying this twerking siege tower in the center of the battlefield.
What? Twerk? Oh yeah!
I mentioned it and now it stopped, so it's obviously a bit self-conscious.
Oh, there it is. There it is. It looks like it's trying to mate with the ram. Like,
God, what type of siege equipment would that make? Is that how like the tortoises are made in
that's
2,
what's the legendary ram from Lord of the Rings?
Oh, Grom.
Grom. That's how Grom was made.
Yeah, perfect.
Grom.
That's what we see.
Oh man. All right. So yeah, we've got this really awesome like fort settlement. It's a custom map in Rise of Mordor, and we've got some. I don't know, it's really cool because there's this nice river going through it and you got to flank all the way around. So let's just jump into the armies here because it looks like the battle is underway. I'll go ahead and start with the attackers. Looking at the main wall, we've got Mirkwood over here, Dol Guldur, the evil Mirkwood essentially, with their awesome siege towers. They've got some really cool units. Definitely made some huge improvements in the mod with the orcs. Like, there's so many cool. Like, in the wraiths, that's so awesome. The Dol Guldur's
lighting as well. The lighting on the orcs have got a lot better now as well. So,
yes.
I think they are dark in a lot of areas still, but much better than it was.
Yeah, it's definitely getting there for sure. I remember the first time they released orcs. It was like, it was amazing. That's for sure. Then we've got Rune over here. Look at these. Look at the Varg Lancers. They look so amazing. So Rune, always good to see them with their fancy armor. And then with Rune, we also have Mordor, I believe. So yeah, Mordor on the battlefield with all their Uruks. They look amazing. Shinier armor for sure.
Yeah, and hopefully in the new patch as well, there definitely been a lot of work going on to the trolls. So they have, you know, they say this every patch, but trolls are coming in the next patch. But hopefully in the next patch, they've been working hard on the animations and stuff and new weapons and models and stuff. So that will really help to fill out the Mordor roster, I think.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So, oh, by the way, there's a barrel in the water.
Just the people chilling out watching.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. What is going? It's a supply barrel, but I guess it just glitched out. It's in the. They're barrel riders.
Indeed, they're just spectators. Okay, this is a spectator sport.
Absolutely. So you want to check out the defenders?
Yeah, of course. So one of the defending side, we do have the forces of Dunland, one of the earlier rosters in the mod. Going to be a faction, but I think it's going to receive a lot of love going forward. Obviously, lots of updates, making their units look a lot better because, as Apollo pointed out earlier when we were just chatting, they kind of just look like vanilla Attila infantry or berserkers from Thrones of Britannia.
Yeah.
Not a bad unit to have kind of as a placeholder until they really do dive into them. Behind that, we do have the forces of the Woodland Realm. So, you know, they're going to try and take back Mirkwood and reclaim the dead forest as best as they can. And then finally, over on this extreme right-hand side, we do have the forces of the Dwarves, who obviously have recently received a big overhaul to their unit roster with new models. They actually updated the skeletons and stuff like that to make them stockier. So the Dwarves look really cool, and we're seeing all of their units being thrown into battle, I'm sure, in this engagement.
Yeah, their faces look amazing. Like, their faces look just like dwarven faces. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I believe there's like 4 or 5 different beard variants as well. So they really did go pretty hard on improving that as the gate just gets flung right open.
Yeah, so we are already underway, and it looks like the forces at the gate, they're gonna have to, you know, Dol Guldur, they're gonna have to take the brunt of the defense. This is gonna be a really tough spot to attack.
Yeah, oh, totally. And the fact is as well is like they can climb up on this wall, but they're going to really have to try and like clear the wall up. And I think getting archers on here will be the path to victory, right? Because as soon as you clear out the wall, you get soldiers fighting down. Obviously, you're going to be meeting some of the heavier Dunland infantry. But as soon as you can get archers up on that wall, like you clear it and then get the bowmen up there, they're going to be able to fire down directly on top of the defending infantry, and that's going to clear things out.
Yeah, I think the only issue though with that is the little like plateau of like terrain that leads up to the town center, which by the way is really cool. They've got archers up there as well, so they could easily shoot at archers on the walls. So I think the attackers need to maybe wait a little bit and see if the elder archers could waste some of their ammo before they get their archers up there on the wall. But we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, I think you're right. I think taking this wall, putting your archers up here is going to be the play to win it here.
Yeah, I totally didn't even see them. They're too good at hiding in the forest.
We do have a bit of a charge here by Mordor going against the dwarves over on the other side, using fire arrows.
Very nice indeed. However, the heavy armor of the dwarves will be enough to repel that. I mean, if you press I and take a look at their missile block chance, they have 75 missile block, which is pretty strong in that shield wall.
Yeah, you're just kind of wasting ammo. Also using fire. I guess they're going for the tower, actually.
Yeah, trying to bring that bad boy down.
Yeah.
The tower can seriously rack up a lot of kills.
Yeah. Do you think this is worth it, though? I mean, it definitely seems like the dwarves are going to hold here for a long time, so maybe it is smart to get rid of the tower.
Is it even shooting, though?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just hard to tell with all the fire arrows.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're going to stick around here, it's probably not a bad idea. But again, there's plenty of other towers around, so I guess it's a hard decision. It does seem like as well that the forces of Dunland did decide to bring their war dogs back in. Side of the settlement, they had a bunch of these wolves, they're actually wolf tamers, yeah. Decided to bring these guys back inside the settlement from that little right-hand side. I guess the cavalry a little bit too much, and they were just like, yeah, we'll save them for a better time.
Yeah, I think we didn't really, or I didn't really look at that area, but yeah, they had a bunch of dog, units in the tree line here. I guess they were hoping for an ambush, but because the attackers have spaced out their army so much that they would have been discovered and it wouldn't have worked out. So yeah, you're definitely right. Smart of them to fall back into the city.
Does seem like as well that the siege towers have now arrived to the wall, and got some Dol orcs or Uruks jumping off some Goldor blades, jumping off to engage the Dunland swordsmen on the walls as best as they can. Yeah,
this is going to be huge. I mean, it's only one unit up here for the defenders. They can definitely take control of this wall, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the defenders and attackers do here in terms of this wall. You know, are they going to send up archers? Are they going to wait? It definitely seems like they delayed their attack over here as well, but now that their allies are attacking the dwarves on the other side, they're going in. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to... Oh, there we go. There's the archers. They're opening fire.
Yep, and they've got such a perfect angle, just like hammering them in the side is so effective to whittle down them. Because don't you get like a shield bonus if you are being attacked from the side from a pillar, so yeah, you're able to really rack up some kills there. But honestly, they just need to kind of almost brute force their way through and get into this open courtyard as quickly as possible, because right now this is just, yeah, brutal. I would not want to be attacking this side, that is for sure.
Well, we do have some artillery coming in from the attackers, and that could definitely change, some things. Put some pressure on the defenders. Might cause them to back up a little bit from this wall so they don't get bombarded by the artillery. But what I like to do, usually, it doesn't matter what siege battle I'm playing in whatever Total War game it may be. What I like to do is send in cheaper-ish infantry when I'm attacking, so that if they do use their arrows on the infantry, it's not that big of a deal, because they're wasting their ammo on a fairly cheap unit. So, if the defenders aren't careful and they waste too much ammo on an infantry unit that's not amazing, it could bite them in the butt later on in the battle. Because if the attackers still have their ammo and they don't, it's going to be a problem. But the Dol Guldur blades here, I mean, they're pretty good, though, so...
Yeah, they're decently armored. They're like the standardized infantry for Dol Guldur. But yeah, as you were saying, that is really crucial, just kind of getting your opponents to waste their ammunition, and especially with the new changes to how quickly archers volley off their arrows. There's no longer waiting for like a minute or 2 minutes between each volley. It's just quick succession, shot after shot. So they get through that ammunition very quickly, which means throwing up cheap units in the beginning of the battle is great because, you know, they take 4, 5, 6 volleys. That's a lot of the ammunition taken away.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you could kind of just like fire a couple volleys. It would take a couple of minutes to do that, and then you can kind of like reevaluate your decision. But now it's like, you know, you focus down a unit for a couple minutes, your units are going to be down to half ammunition quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about it? Do you like that? How it's a bit more surgical, I guess, with arrows, where you have to be very selective of what targets and everything?
Yeah, I think it's a great change because what would happen normally in land battles especially... Oh, there's a friendly fire over on the dwarven flank. The artillery actually came in and hit some friendly dwarves.
Oof.
Yeah, I think a lot of time in land battles as well, you just find out that no one would bring missiles because no one could use their ammunition.
Right.
Get rushed and then your archers would be useless. So at least now, you know, you can volley off half your ammunition very quickly and then commit your infantry or commit your archers to the infantry fight or whatever. So I think it's made archers much more competitive in just all scenes of battles. You can do a lot more with them.
Yeah, for sure. In siege battles, it seems to kind of pick up the pace, where I've seen many times in siege battles, players will just sit back and use every bit of their ammo before charging in infantry. And now when you're very limited to the amount of arrows you have, you rely more on melee instead of just sitting back and shooting. So I definitely like it too.
I really like the position that the orcs have taken over on the far right-hand side of the settlement, like up on that hill.
Yeah.
To use their archers really effectively to volley down onto the dwarves.
Yes, it looks really cool, and it is like practical. It seems like it's doing a good job of getting a little bit of a flank shot on those dwarves. Also, in the middle, we've got Rune pushing in.
Oh wow, they've actually made it pretty decently into it as well. Like there's a small gap starting to appear by that watchtower. They can try and maybe pull through there, or it looks like the wolves are in as well.
Yeah. That's so cool. And it's kind of cool to see the Dunlendings fighting with the good guys, because I could easily see them as like a tribe of people that are easily like manipulated into fighting for whatever reason, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Rohan was just like, yo, okay, we'll give you loads of farmland. It'll be fine, you know, just chill. And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll fight for you.
Yeah. Like, we'll give you lots of money and land, and there'll be a buffer state or something.
Exactly. I'm surprised though we're not seeing more soldiers being shifted around. I really would have thought we would have seen like the other two choke points. I mean, there's an entire other side of the settlement that just isn't defended. I think if they were to send like a decent portion of their army all the way around and then push in, they could really help support the soldiers at the gate. Like, you know, there's nothing over there. There's just kind of like lone cavalry units.
Yeah, even if they rushed in cav, I mean, they've got 3 units of cav kind of in that general area. Rune does. They've got the Vareg Lancers. They could sneak them in and, like you said, support the gate, but their disaster is happening over at the wall. At the wall gate, they sent up some archers, and and the infantry defending infantry simply walked up there and killed them, and they are breaking with full ammo, and that is just tragic. That's the other thing to consider. We were just talking about how ammo is so light. Well, it's so precious now that if you lose your archers, it's just even worse.
Yeah, and this is really unfortunate. This is the gate. This is a gate with burning oil as well. So that gate is a no-no, pretty much. There is no way you should ever throw any soldiers through. I think the burning oil for the gates should just not be in any map because it's so OP.
It is. It's awful. I hate the burning oil. It doesn't really. I don't know. In Rome 2, it's a little bit more manageable because you can capture the gate and neutralize it fairly easily, but I don't know. I'm just not a fan. The defenders already have so many advantages
Yeah, I think it should be like a timed ability, or maybe like you have a limited amount of them, you know? There's only so much burning oil that you have.
Yeah, and you have to use it. I think that would be cool. Like there's a button that you have to press, and
Exactly.
and then it like reloads after you use it, and you can only use it like twice, you know?
Exactly, because right now it's just rapid. It is just pouring down like a shower or something.
Yeah, yeah, it's bad. So
Ooh, there's some cavalry going in, though. Some skirmisher.
Oh,
cavalry.
yeah, from the defenders.
They're getting some good kills on Bane of the Steppe as well. Like, the differences in these prices are pretty crazy. Bane of the Steppe are super cheap, super expensive. So any kills they get on them is going to be huge. Able to catch a little bit, but nothing crazy. It's more stuff to go in.
Yeah, he's got his tribal riders over here. Or raiders, I should say.
Yeah, able to rack up 6-7 kills. It's not bad, honestly. But again, like, I mean, nothing really... There's no spears back here. There's thin lines. Like, if I was this cavalry player, it's ballsy, because if you mess it up, you're in a really bad situation because you just lost your cavalry. But yeah, I'll just dive into this settlement, say screw it, and like
yeah,
maybe
just go wild. Like,
yeah, wrap around and hit them Dunland swords. That then opens up where your warlords of Rune are, so then they can move in.
But he's calling it off. I think that's a missed opportunity. I think he could get in there and cause some havoc. Because worst case, you could probably, if it goes poorly, you could probably bob and weave your way out of the settlement, you know, and avoid losing your cav.
Yeah, and I mean, again, worst case scenario, you're engaging the enemy generals as well. You know, there's not really any cavalry in there besides generals. So, you know,
Yeah.
even in the worst case scenario, you're fighting enemy cavalry that is also their general, and you get a lucky kill on that. And that completely clears you up. Oh, does it seem like Rune have broken
Yes.
through? But, oh my God, everywhere's broken through.
Yes, it seems like the fight over here is going much. It's just better for the attackers. They've got a lot of units that have made some great progress. I don't know how this happened. If you see where the dwarves are, there's a ton of units that are behind them. I don't if they like broke through them.
That sneaky pull through right there, where you just spam click right click, and that's probably how it happens.
I guess, but it doesn't really work in Attila because your units get just slaughtered.
You can see that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
Units from Mordor breaking the field, which is just
That's tragic.
Or like, these are cheap units with 190 bodies. Again, compare that to a dwarven unit. The dwarves have 115 in their unit. So the orcs are just there to die and to rout and hold the enemy in place whilst other stuff happens. So
Yeah.
You know, they did take casualties, but they have also, you know, softened up this entire position for them to push through.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of broke up their formation.
exactly. And there's also one unit of orc pillagers who have routed backwards and have come back from routing. So I wonder what them 26 brave orcs can do.
Yeah, so I'm thinking at this point, the forces attacking the gate, they need to just stop. Just wait. Because I think it's so... Not only is the gate easy to defend, it's a solid wall, there's very few choke points, but it's also closest to the town center. So of course they're going to have a ton of units nearby. So it's just double trouble. I think they should wait until their allies are pushing the town center and getting close, and then they attack the gate. That way they just kind of save more troops that way.
Yeah, I think that'd be huge. And now we're seeing the cavalry finally
Yes.
out of the city. I think we should have seen this, because that could have really relieved all the pressure at the gate, or just sped up the speed of which the Eastlings have managed to make their way in.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good cavalry. If these guys get engaged with anything, they'll kill almost anything they fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're very timid right now. And first off, I wouldn't run in wedge formation because that slows you down. It does give you an advantage in like cav battles, if I'm not mistaken, but it does slow you down. So I would have just stayed in normal formation. I would turn and fight this cav too. Look, I know they're sending in infantry to support. You can see them back there, the Chosens, pretty cool. They also have the wolf tamers as well. But still, I think they could easily defeat this cav. And oh, they did turn, and the cav's gonna run away very wisely.
They might be able to route it as they pull out. You know, that is just unit of tribal raiders, so nothing scary whatsoever. And yeah, they have routed. Probably going to come back from that routing, but still not bad. But all this time, this tower is racking up kills on the cavalry. Every horse we take down is expensive.
And they released the wolves.
Oh no, they're going to chase him down. Oh no, I mean, this is the perfect unit to deal with cavalry, right? To charge them up, because it's so awkward to target them.
Well, not only that, but also, like, I mean, I don't know if this is a mechanic in the game, but wolves would terrify horses. You know, it would cause panic.
Exactly. So far, I mean, it seems like they're getting killed kind of quickly. It doesn't seem like...
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It looks like the wolves are dropping quick.
But also as well, this is a shock infantry unit that we're seeing. So, like, the shock infantry unit reinforcing this, you don't want to have shock infantry fighting cavalry, because if they get a charge of them, the shock infantry can't brace, so they'll just get slaughtered. Look
how aggressive they're being, too. The defenders sending in, the Dunlading sending in their general. They're just trying to tie up this cav. You know, honestly, they probably just don't want to deal with this cav. It's just like, get it out of here. And that's why they're being so aggressive. But I don't think they're going to fall for it. I think they're just going to constantly fall back.
Yeah, exactly. And if they could turn now, they could take care of the Elkim Rider General.
Yeah,
I want to.
The infantry's way too far away. I'm surprised they're not doing it.
They've actually engaged one of the Dunland horses. The champion Reavers are in there.
Oh, yeah. Two generals. Yeah. Oh, wait, we have infantry coming over from... Ooh, they got charged by the Elven King Riders.
Yeah, and you'll see how much damage. Like, that's what I'm saying. They could have done that to the defenders and just ripped them apart, because look at that. They lost like 60 men there from that frontal charge because they were spread out. They weren't braced. So that's exactly what that cavalry could have done to everyone else. So it could have done to the shock infantry or, you know, anything else that they do come up against.
Yeah, for sure. And this is wild. This little fight out here is crazy.
Yeah, and whilst it's going on, the settlement is being breached, though. Archers are being brought up to hammer the defenders.
Yeah, more cav. Servants of the Eye.
Yeah, moving through the order. I love maps that implement stuff like this. Small little avenues, back gardens.
Yeah.
I love to see it. There's that one Attila map that does it so well in the castle. That just has like every little back entrance you can kind of sneak soldiers behind, and boom, even into braced infantry. I mean, 2 lines isn't deep enough. They're gonna run through them and go after the archers. And
oh my god, yeah. See, that's what Rune should have done so much earlier.
Yep. Like, just if you go into the back of anything in this game with cavalry, it's gonna get slaughtered.
Now, the Servants of the Eye, this cav unit isn't it like one of the best cav units in the game?
Yeah, it's a really, really strong melee cavalry, so it will do okay on the charge, and then it will really rack up kills like a couple seconds after the charge does occur, and it can like just stay in prolonged engagements, which is great. Which is where like Swan Knights kind of fall apart to them, because Swan Knights are great on the charge, but after that, that's when they start to move.
Yeah, that
I really, really do get stuck in. That's the only cavalry that Mordor do have access to, so, you know, it's good to see that it is good.
Yeah, for sure. And then the infantry still pushing in, artillery firing down. How's that fight going on out there? Looks like we got Servants of the Eye over here on this side as well, helping out Rune.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any generals die yet, honestly.
Did they fall back? Oh yeah, they fell back. Look at that.
Did the the general cav made out as well, but
wow,
they're pretty low on strength right now though. Like there's what, 2 other positions that can be attacked. I would just send the cavalry around to that far right hand side and help out at the gate, because one more charge at the gate and that's gonna open up so much space for them.
You would save hundreds of lives, like literally hundreds, if they could just get 1 cav unit to charge the back of these guys at the gate.
Oh, look at the Dwarven unit next to the Dwarven General. It's like in the city center, off to the left-hand side. Look at that unit of Dwarven Barrack Guard. They look amazing.
Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, next to them, yeah.
Oh, God, they look so good with them capes.
I love how they have, like, beard armor. It's...
You gotta protect your beard.
Yeah, you can. It's the greatest insult to cut a dwarf's beard off.
Indeed. Oh, cavalry charge on the right-hand side, right into the back of the Tomb Wardens. That was a pretty deadly charge. The halberds have now turned around, but there's cavalry coming in from both sides.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah. Oh, that's a cool unit as well. But yeah, that's a huge win there. Taking out halberds, so strong in this game, so good at holding front lines. So if you take them out, that's gonna save, again, hundreds of lives. We also have the General of Mordor, which is a Servant of the Eye cav unit in the fight as well, trying to take out some crossbows. But he might want to get out of there because now the halberds are in the mix, and that might, you know, cause mass cas for the cav. And
all it takes is one unlucky kill and your general goes down.
Yep.
And as Mordor, you need that general to give.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he's already at half strength. He's losing a lot of cav.
Yeah, you need to keep him nice and safe. The rest of the Mordor archers just trying their best to pick away any units as you know, any units extra that they can do on them two Warriors. But the armor is thick.
And there's a little bit of a sally out. Look at this. So the dwarves have some axe warriors who sallied out of the settlement.
Yeah.
And they're going to charge the rear of some Uruk throngs.
Oh, I love to see it. But Dowie's fighting hard.
That's amazing.
You gotta respect it. The dwarves taking the fight to the enemy.
You know, this is the craziest thing about this replay is that when I first looked at the settlement, I was like, oh, this is just going to be a big choke point battle. And then after watching, you know, so far, it's been all over the place. I mean, there's been a huge engagement outside the city. There's cav and artillery. It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about a lot of these Rise of Mordor custom maps is there's so many ways to attack the settlement. Like, the inner layer is just one path, and that's a big choke point. But everywhere else, you know, there's like, what, like 6 or 7 entrances into this settlement?
Yeah, yeah.
There's then a bunch of little back alleyways when you're in the settlement that you can exploit and, you know, outflank your opponent. You know, so there's plenty of ways to make the battle interesting. It's just up to the players to utilize that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so glad because like vanilla Attila, the settlements are very one-sided towards the defenders, which I guess historically that's true. Like defensive places are going to be one-sided. But in terms of balanced gameplay, I love when there's multiple paths you can take. It makes it so much more interesting and dynamic. And I think did a general just break there? Oh yeah, look at the bane of steps they've broken. For Rune.
General is just getting the hell out of there.
He's getting out. It's looking very close on this outer area. I've also noticed a lot of the attacking archers have used up a lot of their ammo, and that might be an issue when it comes to the final stand of this settlement, because they're gonna need ammo to soften up the halberds and all the defensive units that they're gonna have at that last stand. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not that many halberds back there, if any. I haven't seen a single halberd unit back there at the moment. I mean,
there's
but you know, like, what type of quality do they have there? They have some of the Elder Spearmen, which are good, some good Dwarven shock infantry.
You're right. I just assumed.
There's no like pikes back there. Well, there's one unit of pikes of Hall Guardians going back there now, but besides that, there's nothing too crazy.
They got Blood Avengers. I mean, they kind of have like big axes. They're not really pole axes.
Shock infantry. But as you can see on the left-hand side of the settlement, there is nothing left now. The cavalry is hammering and anviling into the back of the dwarves. And yeah, it seems like the settlement, at least, you know, in the courtyard, has been completely taken. And now it's going to be up to the attackers to reinforce that gate, kind of like, you know, kind of surround the defenders there, and they can get their reinforcement from Dol Guldur, all their troops in, and then make this assault on the final layer.
Yeah. They just, at this point, I like to call it the cleanup phase, where you're just kind of cleaning up what's left of the defenders, and then I assume both forces are going to regroup and make a push for the final stand. Even at the gate. Well, at the gate, they're doing well still. But again, as soon as they lose the other parts of the settlement, that gate is going to be exposed. You know, the flank is going to be exposed, and they're going to help their ally, who's been playing very smart, keeping their forces back. But this is the healthiest army, wouldn't you say, for the attackers, Dol Guldur?
Totally. And this is why I think, like your point earlier, if they would have just held back more of their soldiers when we realized things weren't going to go their way, that would have allowed them to then have even more left at this point and then reinforce. Because, yeah, I mean, there is a There's one road up at the moment, and you know it's going to be a slogfest to get up here and breach into that inner layer where I guess the whole of the Dunland General is waiting for them right there. They've also got 2 towers up there as well, which is going to be a little bit scary, and still plenty of ammunition left.
Oh yeah, tons. And that might be a problem for the attackers. I'm trying to look around to see. I guess there is one unit for Dol Guldur. They've got full ammo. But other than that, most of the ammo has been exhausted for the attackers.
And do you want to see something crazy? Look at the numbers. So the attackers started off with over 9,000. The defenders only had 5,000, and now it's down to what just
a little over 1,000.
Yeah, just a little over 1,000 unit difference now. So they've definitely taken their pound of flesh as the enemy approach from the settlement, that is for sure. And actually, they're just abandoning that gatehouse, realizing they're not going to be able to hold it. So now
that's smart.
Really push in.
And like you said, you know, as you brought up, why? Oh, actually, did they sally out? What's going on?
Oh yeah, they did actually. What the hell? I guess not a bad idea again, slowing up this assault, because if they can, you know, again, not all players are really like in tune with one another, and if they can kind of delay the Dol Guldur force and initiate the Yorks and Rune to actually assault their inner layer, then it just really disrupts like the speed of which the attackers are coming.
Yeah, maybe that was his plan. I don't know. He is running back. Maybe his teammates are like, dude, get out of there. What are you doing? But
get out of there. Just like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Now they're going to leave them through that burning oil, because that's the thing as well, is like the burning oil is still on their side, so if they could just like, drag them in, that's another 50-60 kills.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. And like you said earlier, you know, they should have held back more. What did they gain from attacking? You know, nothing really. This wall, they didn't. Maybe they chipped away at a couple units. That's about it. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. So the enemy has charged forward their infantry, and the great assault on the town center is underway. While we made a little bit of an edit there as we were waiting for the forces to get into position, the Dunlanding general was sniped out. While you can see his body over here.
Yeah.
Or is that the Elven general?
I think it's the Elven general, actually.
Oh, no. He's got some... well, I'm pretty sure it was the Dunlanding general who... One of the generals for the defenders was sniped out.
He's definitely still alive. You can see him. He looks very different from the rest of the unit. So it must have been the Elven general that was taken down by an arrow.
Yeah, just... so unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. I mean, serves the players right. They need to be aware that, that a lone arrow can turn the tide of the battle.
That's why I love these older Total Wars. Your general's not Superman.
Definitely true. I can't believe as well the balance of power seems kind of crazy. Like, it is really in favor of the forces of evil right now, as they just throw everything they have against Dunland and the allies.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the balance of power just seems like it's off. I mean, they're only outnumbered by 1,000. It's even closer now than the last time we saw. But we also see a lot of breaking units from the attackers way in the back. So, I mean,
the medieval units just, isn't quite there. What they need is the medieval 2 Crusader.
Yes.
But just with like Sauron,
Yes, the giant cross wagon thing.
Yeah, that's what they need. That will help boost their morale.
Yeah, it's a giant like statue of Sauron.
Yeah, just getting pushed up by some like goblins or something. Be perfect.
I don't know, like, how does morale work with orcs? I mean, do they honestly like worship Sauron, or is it more like, hey, we got to do what he says or he's gonna kill us? Or
I think it's more like he's like the biggest baddest boss, like orc culture, right, is all about, it's like if I kill you, I'm now the captain. So
that's true.
And then obviously no one can kill him, so I guess they're just like, following out of fear more so than anything else.
Yeah, and I guess out of respect, because it's just, you can't beat them.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to join them. But yeah, I guess I can kind of see why the balance of power is like that. I mean, there's a lot of really good shock infantry, but there's a lot of numbers on the attacking side still.
Yeah, they have a lot. I mean, especially from Dol Guldur. They're currently rushing in their their big bad units, champions of Dol Guldur. That's going to be probably the biggest threat because these guys are fresh. They haven't lost anyone. If I was an archer, that's what I would start focusing my fire on, which I'm curious.
There's a lot of archers left as well.
Yeah.
There's, 4 units in it immediately. You can see them leveling their bow and aiming exactly at them.
Wait, what are they doing? Oh, there they go. They're just gonna repositioning. Yeah, that's because they're probably somewhat weak to archer fire as well.
Yeah, what's their missile? You only have 25 missile blocks, so they're gonna be very vulnerable after a couple of volleys. It's obviously an Attila, like you have that like Halo-esque shield, is whatever I call it, with like take a couple of volleys, you don't take many casualties, and then boom, as soon as that kind of like HP shield goes away, you just start dropping soldiers very quickly.
For sure, and that's why he's going the long way around, because he wants to, and that's smart. He wants to avoid the archer fire, because look how much money he invested in these units. They have 3 golden chevrons for experience, so...
Yeah. 50 melee attack on them, so if they can get in unassaulted, that'll be they'll cut through a lot of the enemy units. There's not really much on the defending side that can deal with that, you know. Their infantry is good, but it's not like, you know, it's not like the units you want killing. Like maybe the Dwarven barrack guard that are being thrown in right now, they can do it, but you know, the defenders are having to commit a lot of their forces into this fight. And look at that, guards of the teeth. This unit is ridiculous. They are like the strongest halberd unit in the game. They're heavily armored, they have high morale, they are elite.
Yeah, they all look like the mouths of Sauron in training or something, you know?
Yep. They're his own private guard. Also, look at that as well. The wraiths off in the distance also have like really cool red eyes as well, gleaming.
Yeah, the wraiths look awesome. I don't know if
light is amazing. It's just getting that lighting to look good is you know, always a difficult job.
Yeah. I don't know if you have notifications on, but about a minute ago, the Dunlendings lost their general to archer fire as well. So
no.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, the defenders really need their morale here, and
yeah, I can kind of start to see why the balance of power is as it is. You know, there's a lot of units are starting to break now for the defenders, and they don't really have a lot to plug that gap. And all the units they do have left still, you know, the ammunition can't really be arced into this fight because of the positioning of the hill. So, you know, the crossbows, for example, who would be able to rack up hundreds of kills if they could bring their crossbows to bear, they're going to be kind of struggling here. So they need to try and find like an angle on a hill or something where they can fire down directly.
I think they need to fall back. If you can see, if they fall back, there's a very steep hill. They could set up their archers up there and probably do much better there. But, you know, it's tough, especially in Attila. Once your units are in the fight, it's hard to get them out of it without taking a ton of casualties.
Yeah, you get really punished, especially if the attacker is like paying attention at all. Like he just follows you and cuts you down and away.
Yeah.
Is you know, once you've committed, it's hard. I wish Total War would add in like a fight and retreat. That would be so cool.
Yes.
Back up slowly, and as you fight, I think Manor Lords actually adding into their combat section, which is dope to see someone taking that, because I don't think I've seen any game ever do something like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I cannot wait to see that in action. I mean, that's gonna be nuts. And a lot of archers are opening fire, and that's, I would say, for the defenders, that's the only advantage they have is archers.
Yeah, there's so many guards. There's so many of these shock infantry from Dol Guldur. What they're called, the champions of Dol Guldur.
Yeah.
You know, these boys are kind of just, you know, they're taking out 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but it's, you know, there's plenty more where that came from, and they're charging. Also looks like as well the Mordor general dismounted maybe, and is fighting on foot. That's kind of cool to see.
Is he in the fight?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've opened up a bit more of another breach point. I'm not sure if I guess they can't move past this wooden barricade that's been broken down. Like, some soldiers are fighting over it, but I guess maybe there's like a hard limit. They
probably.
At the main point. But yeah, I mean,
why even build a barricade there?
I know, exactly. I wish, again, Total War would implement more stuff like that, you know, stuff that you can burn down and break down. Because all the custom maps that have that, it's just really cool to be able to progressively, you know, like kind of, you know, open up more breaches as you assault. You know, I think that's just such a cool dynamic battle system.
Yeah, it would be cool too if, because you know how in Total War you can set up like barricades in the deployment phase, but it would be cool to have like an engineer unit that builds as the battle goes on, so you can kind of build different things. You know, obviously not things that would drastically change the game, but having little like barricades or traps or something as you play the battle would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be very cool. And you know, speaking of which, in the new Total War Warhammer 3 gameplay that would have been out by the time this video is going live, they actually do have stuff like that in their new battle system. So I guess it's something that we're experimenting with, where there is like a type of battle called the survival battle, and you do end up building barricades, and I think it's like buff stations that, like, if you're fighting in there, it debuffs the enemy and buffs you, and you can build towers on the fly and stuff. So I guess it is something they are messing around with, and you know, I think it's a cool idea.
Well, there you go. It's good that they're adding some new stuff. They've pushed up past the front line.
So many of them. Look at the hordes of hell. Just charge forward.
Yeah, it's crumbling. They need to get their archers out of there. I don't know why they waited so long. And they're not gonna use, well, I don't know what they're, I thought they were gonna use the very bottom of this hill and use the top for their archers, but yeah, I think they have to cut their losses. They don't have enough troops. They have to go to the most narrow, you know, choke point, and I think that's over there.
So many attackers, though. I feel like they can just pull through this, and they have the numbers to do it, you know? And I don't think it's cheesy. If you have the numbers to do it, you know, and the enemy don't have enough, I feel like you should be able to.
Yeah, use mass.
As we saw earlier when the Mordor attacked, you know, like they routed 4 or 5 units when they pulled through. So it's, you know, you're taking that kind of chance to, you know, am I envelop the enemy, or am I going to break? It's kind of, you know, it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, but here, I mean, many times I've seen people get overconfident and just assume they're going to take the settlement, and they get a little careless and they end up losing from a massive rout because of the mass casualties. So I know the balance of power is looking very grim, but I've seen people come back from these types of situations with a lucky kill. You know, you snipe out a general, you know, something like that to kind of turn the battle around. But we'll see. I mean, this is definitely desperate. I mean, look at this horde.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if the crossbows can shoot. That's what's going to be racking up a lot of kills. If they can find a good angle and actually get some shots off, that's going to definitely help to bring them back in, you know, anyway into this battle.
Yes, crossbows are brutal in this game, and it looks like they're interested in shooting, but they're not.
There's like one, I think like literally one dwarf is the two dwarfs are just, oh, more of them now. Every time one is shooting, they're getting a bit more confident. And like, there you go.
Yep. And look, they also have the arrow towers supporting them using fire ammo, so that could break a lot of, and which, by the way, there are units breaking right now. So
this could be a valiant last stand.
Oh, a general has routed.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. Again, morale dropping.
I think that's Dol Guldur, or is that Mordor?
Let's have a look.
Servants of the Eye. So
yeah, Dol Guldur's flag.
Oof.
And you know, the Hull Guardians up to 190 kills in that big old mosh pit.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I am starting to believe. I'm starting to become a believer. I'm joining your side.
I'm rooting for the defenders here because they're the underdogs. And also, look in the back, they've got the dwarven guard back there, so they've got another halberd, and they're probably, maybe they were saving them because he's not sure if he's gonna send them in and reinforce, or if he needs to fall back at the final choke point, which would be at the 2 towers there. But yeah, I mean,
nice reference. I like it.
Yeah, gotta throw that in. Hall Guardians have, in the matter of less than a minute, they've gotten over 100 kills.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the strength of halberds, and the attackers are just running onto them.
Yes.
He's there, but they're not, you know, getting committed. I mean, the guards with team have 250 kills as well, but yeah, I mean, the Hull Guardians is able to really pick apart the enemy. I mean, like the last kind of reserves are being lobbed in, arrow fire, and also we now have the Mordor general being thrown up. They need to be very careful with him, because if he dies, it's all over. We're already starting to see 3 units breaking now. and the morale is dropping. I think he's coming up to drop a rally down, maybe.
Probably.
Immediately turning, focusing him.
Oh, he's getting shot at.
Yep. If he goes down, I think it's, I mean, it might already be over even without him. Look at all the morale dropping as the attackers.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, halberds, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, they need to conserve their ammo for late game to get through halberds.
We're up to 374 kills now.
Oh my god.
Like, zoom in and look at them. There's just piles of enemy bodies.
It's a new wall that's being made.
Literally, they are the Spartans of this day.
Yeah. So if I was the attackers, I would have saved my artillery for this moment right here. Like,
yeah, definitely. Or what you can always do as well is just attack the sides of the formation, go really thin instead of this kind of like long blob. Just, send in soldiers, slowly grind the enemy down and just avoid the halberds, The halberds can't push the entire way of this battlefield, so just really focus on the flanks, just hold in the center. And if they commit their halberds to one side, then you just put a lot of pressure on the other side. Like, you can't stretch one halberd unit the entire way along here. So, if you don't have archers, you got to do it that way, because 450 kills on this Hall Guardian unit is just racking up.
It's bad. And you're right. I mean, they could have also sent like a cheap unit to keep the halberds occupied while they're focusing most of their like skilled units on like the flanks.
Yeah, that's what Mordor is so good at, because they have such large units, 200 orc units compared to the Elven, 90-man units. So they're great at just like throwing away a unit that can just hold the enemy in place whilst the rest of the army, does its thing. It's kind of like how Mordor is designed.
Yeah. This is, I mean, the only way I see them winning this is if Hall Guardians just get exhausted and their fighting effectiveness goes down the drain.
Not gonna happen. This is over, Anakin. Like, high ground.
It's funny how quickly your opinion changed. I mean,
hey, I'm a man who believes what he sees, and I see a victory for the defense. I just can't believe. Like, look how few casualties they've taken. 600 kills they're on now.
Oh my god.
It lost 13 elves. That's
yeah.
Yay right there.
Yeah, and I look at the army of the attackers and what they have left. They have nothing. They have nothing to take care of these halberds.
They've got nothing left, literally.
And they still have these super elite dwarves in reserve that haven't even seen any action.
Balance of power isn't even yet. Normally at this point, balance of power, shifting back to being even, but just hover over the balance of power and look at the kills. Look at the numbers drop for the attackers. All them kills is just going directly to the Hall Guardians as well. What else?
This is the nail in the coffin, right? This is the epic push from the good guys. They're sending in all their good units. Huge morale drop from the attackers. Oh my god.
Committing everything they have now. They taste victory. We saw that we did over on my channel is like the defenders. Actually, I won't say anything because that's kind of maybe a spoiler. The defenders definitely tasted a slight bit of victory, and they charged out. Whether it went well for them, who knows? Right out and meet them, Exactly. For what is it? For honoring death? For glory in death?
Something like that.
No, for Rohan and his people, I think is what Aragorn replies. God damn, I haven't watched the trilogy in a little while.
Yeah, it's been like a whole week.
Yeah, I know, seriously. Hey, one day you can come to England and we can watch it again. I always treasure them glorious moments of us watching the trilogy together. We skipped the Hobbit trilogy, right? But we watched the full Lord of the Rings extended edition.
Extended edition, yep. Yeah, I'm actually I'm looking to buy a projector because I have my garage has this big open like white space that I'm just gonna use as a screen, and so I'll get a bonfire going, put the trilogy on,
the new 4K remastered trilogy.
Yeah, my neighbors can just be like, "What a nerd."
We're just like, rally the men, reform the line.
Yeah.
5 in the morning is just faded in screaming.
Yeah. Death.
Oh god.
That's great.
Speaking of death, that is something that is happening. I don't think there is any hope left.
No. The Hall Guardians with 765 kills.
Yeah, it just goes to show you need to save your ammunition for these guys.
Yes. Yep. That's the biggest downfall for the attackers. And I think it's over. The balance of power is even now, so it's definitely over. And I think the attackers, what they could have done that might have given them a better chance, one, conserve their ammo for this late stage. Also conserve some of their artillery ammo. If the Dol Guldur kind of held back a little bit longer and saved more men, and maybe even if they all kind of conserved at least 1 or 2 of their own halberds to match the defending halberds, I think that would have helped them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough though as well, like to give the attackers credit, this is a very choke pointy map, and the defenders did fall back, quite early. They didn't really put up as much resistance as maybe they could have in the outer layers. So, it was very difficult. But again, you're at the beginning when we were assaulting, there was just so many of them still left alive coming in. So, big props to the attackers and also the defenders. They put up a valiant last stand, and that unit is almost up to 800 kills now. I think it's over now. Balance of power in their favor.
Oh yeah.
350 orcs left. I think there is. There's nothing left.
Yeah. This is just, like you said, it's a tough settlement to attack, and it was such a cool battle. It was all over the place. You had Cab, running all over the place, and it was really interesting for sure, and a great play by both teams. And we are down to the last 40 seconds. I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward here to the end.
There's nothing too interesting to see, just dwarves. I mean, I say that. It is interesting to see dwarves cut down everybody in their path.
Oh yeah,
but
they're like, we're not gonna let the elves get all the kills. They're charging in.
That's exactly what is happening right now. And then the men of Dunland are just like, we're here too.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we were kind of hoping you guys would die, because that whole promise of giving you land.
Yeah, isn't that
psych? And there we go.
Guardians will just take them down. I'm interested to see how many kills did they get in the end. Woo! 843 kills.
843 kills. Oh my god. Mine's still loading. I gotta see this.
Oh yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Let's see. What about the I'm still there we go. Okay. So let's see where they are. There they are.
They're right at the top.
843. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, again, the rest of the elves did okay, nothing too special. I mean, like, if it wasn't for the Hall Guardians, the elves would be looking like a weak link here, I think, without them.
Yeah, and then we have the dwarves. Anything crazy with the dwarves? 250. 339 with his Iron Guard.
Yeah, nothing too bad. Dunland as well have a unit of Elder Spears with 300 kills. So Spears with 300 kills is pretty goddamn good.
Yeah.
Again, they are fighting factions like Mordor, right? So it's hard to really value it, because 300
cheaper
kills,
troops, yeah.
Two orc warrior units. So it's hard to then classify it.
Yeah.
Over on the other side again, nothing crazy from the Easterlings or the orcs. Nothing too crazy. The Gods of the Teeth, 300 kills.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the archer kills of Dol Guldur, and it's it's not good.
Them archers are super cheap. They're like 100 gold though.
Oh, okay.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, but Mordor's archers did pretty solid.
Yeah, the Yorick bows can definitely output some decent damage. That's for sure.
Yeah, so that's gonna wrap it up here for today's battle, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out Jackie's channel. You will have a battle out today as well.
I will indeed, and please do. My channel's dying. I need to pay for more children.
Well, at least you're not being desperate about it,
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, check them out. I appreciate Jackie joining me. It was a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys next time on the battlefield.